Good afternoon, and welcome to our annual event. It's great to hear all the conversations going around the tables as people reconnect or meet new people from all of our different networks and our advisory commission members. And I'm really pleased to see so many people here. There's food back there, so if you're still hungry, please go back and help yourselves again. And before I introduce Kurt Bogany, who's our executive board chair and the city manager for the city of Brooklyn Center, I'd like to introduce just a couple. We have a few elected officials here. Representative Lyndon Carlson, who has his eyes open today after the long session. Mayor Tim Wilson from Brooklyn Center, and Mayor Kathy Hempkin from New Hope. I don't think I missed anyone. A couple people are coming in late, but I don't see them here. Oh, Mike, yeah. So I think that Jeff was going to be coming, but I don't see him right now. So okay, Jeff, the mayor of Jeff Lundy from Brooklyn Park. So we are happy to be able to recognize our staff, our networks, and our board members, and also the Invest Northwest Awards winners. And you have the program in front of you. We'll be following that. So I would like to introduce Kurt Bogany, our board chair, who will give you the annual report highlights and then introduce the board members.
The mic was not working, so
Okay.
see if you.
Am I supposed to be? I'm supposed to test the mic to see if it's working. Is it working? Apparently so. Good afternoon. It is indeed my great pleasure to be here this afternoon and to welcome you to this annual event. I see a lot of familiar faces and a few faces that I don't know, but the one thing that I do know is that you all and the other volunteers who participate with the Northwest Hennepin Human Services Council, you are the backbone of this association. You are what Northwest Hennepin Human Services Council is about. And so it's great for us to be able to come here and recognize your contributions. Before I get started, I would like to recognize all of the members of the board, and I really don't need this sheet to know their names, but just to make sure. The members of the board, and if they would stand and be recognized, are Mike Sable, the interim city manager for the city of Brooklyn Park, Jeff Cole, Crystal City Council member, Chantel Canoose, Golden Valley Assistant City Manager, Brad Martins, Corcoran City Administrator, Anne Marie Shanley, Maple Grove Human Resources Director, and Rich Johnson, New Hope Human Resources and Administrative Services Director. Give them all a round of applause, please. So, my duty this afternoon as chair is to give you a few of the highlights from the most recent fiscal year, 2014. So, I will begin by discussing the fact that our area research information, such as our annual membership city profiles, the regional Northwest Hennepin profile, and other reports, such as racial disparities and early childhood, provide the data for grant applications for our member cities, community organizations, North Hennepin Community College, Robbinsdale School District, to demonstrate the need for services in this region. This information is also used by area legislators for legislative initiatives for family and children as requested by our service providers, such as Vale Place, CAPI, to expand services to our area, and by member cities to show changes in their communities. These reports are also located on our website. There are monthly meetings of our community networks, which provide interagency professional development on key issues and trends. These cross-sector networks meet to share information, discuss best practices, and identify gaps to improve area services and develop strategies that address regional issues. And so from all of that, what I'm simply trying to say is that much of what we do in terms of the area of research and planning and convening is to gather the data, gather the information that many of you all need as service providers to make the better decisions on behalf of those that are most vulnerable in our communities. Without the convening of these efforts, we know that there would be a lot of data, a lot of information that would be lacking, and we wouldn't be able to make our case to the state legislature and to federal agencies and to nonprofit foundations. So that's a lot of what we do. I think none of you are confused about our role in that Northwest Hennepin Human Services Council, we are not a direct service provider. But what we do, I think very effectively, is help bring people together to help make the right decisions on behalf of our various constituencies. So the first program that I'd like to highlight is the Northwest Hennepin Early Childhood Network. That program provided 840 children books to network partners to distribute to families that they serve in our area. The resource information is in 7 languages to encourage early childhood screening. They also hosted their annual dialogue with area legislators regarding priorities of early childhood programs, and also a community-wide annual presentation from the Children's Defense Fund. The monthly Working Towards Success for Children and Families e-newsletter was distributed to more than 2,400 families in the region through the network partners. Another program is the Senior Leadership Committee. This is a committee of area seniors and senior service providers. They met monthly with speakers to hear about current and emerging issues affecting older adults in our communities. They brought resources and planning information back to their cities. They hosted the very popular Regional Senior Forum and a keynote speaker and 70 service providers that connected more than 350 area seniors with available resources. Just by a show of hands, did anybody show up at the Senior Leadership annual event? All right. No, the rest of us don't want people to know what our age is. But it's an annual event that if you haven't participated in the past, you definitely want to take advantage of it in the future. The Healthy Together Northwest is a cross-sector, cross-cultural network of regional partners. It provides workforce and resource information on opportunities in education, employment, and entrepreneurship, especially for new arrivals and for all other residents. These are partners. We partner with the Brookdale Library, Hennepin County Medical Center Clinic in Brooklyn Park, and the North Hennepin Community College. And each of these partners took turns hosting a meeting at their workplaces to highlight the resources and the training and the job opportunities that are available. Another program has been the Domestic Violence Prevention Network. It hosted its annual vigil and resource fair at North Hennepin Community College to remember area residents who have died from domestic violence. Staff members partnered with networks across cities and across sectors such as the Joint Community Police Partnership and Multicultural Advisory Committee and the New Neighbors Network to build greater capacity to provide culturally affirming, community-based services and connect diverse populations with communities and with resources. The Homeless Prevention Program, working through the emergency assistance and food shelf agencies and domestic violence prevention programs. The Northwest Hennepin Guide to Human Services, as I think all of us are familiar with, is distributed in emergency resource packets to our member cities and to service providers. It is also updated and kept current on our website. We have the phone tip cards, which provide information about agencies and services to connect people with community resources, including Asian, African, and Spanish-speaking residents. This green resource card, developed by our advisory commission, was key. It's a key community resource with phone numbers and our website link. This card is distributed by police departments as a resource at fairs, and it's in libraries, food shelves, and other community sites. And finally, the Suburban Hennepin Community Services Alliance. The executive director meets monthly to share information and ideas about effective programs and services for addressing hunger and other basic needs with the priority of long-term stability for area residents. We work together to produce a flyer about these services and locations. For more detailed information on all of our programs and networks, we invite you to read our annual report and to go our website, which is nwhsc.org. You can find a copy of all the publications that I've mentioned on the table as well, at the display table, and please make sure that you help yourself. So once again, on behalf of the Executive Board, I want to thank the community members, all of the service providers who come together, who work together on a regional basis, eliminating the duplication of services, bringing all of our resources to bear to serve those who have the greatest needs in our community. Again, thank you so much for coming to this lunch, and look forward to the other recognition and awards that'll follow. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ginger Cisco, next on the agenda. And I chair the advisory commission, and that advisory commission has members on it from every one of our member cities. And we meet monthly, and we share the concerns of our community, and we learn about resources and ways that we can address some of the concerns that we come to learn more about. It's a great group of people, and it is my pleasure to introduce them. So I'll have them stand up when I call their names. Ann Moss and John Granger are representing Brooklyn Park. Sharon Kephart is representing Brooklyn Center. Sue Wallace is representing New Hope, and she's my partner in New Hope because that's where I live, so I'm the other rep from New Hope. Kim Rotman and Melanie Christensen represent Golden Valley. Mindy Lee represents Maple Grove. Kathleen Getty from Osseo is our newest member. And Laura Libby from Crystal, and Mark Leonard. And Mark is our other rep from Crystal. We haven't seen him this year because he's been serving in Afghanistan. And will soon be back. Please applaud this group. It's a really hardworking group of volunteers. In the last year, our commission has reviewed all of the organizations listed in our guide who provide aging, senior services, and caregiving services. Every year we try to concentrate on different areas where we can become better informed. So over the last year, it's been that. We did, however, continue the research that we have been doing on our mental health services, and as a result of that, we co-sponsored in February a mental health presentation from NAMI, the Minnesota chapter of the National Association of Mental Illness, and we did that with North Hennepin Community College as a part of their Wellness Week. It was a great collaboration. It was the first time that we had done it, and I think that all the partners in it felt very good about the opportunities that we offered each other by working together. We did hear about Vale Place, which Kurt mentioned. Vale Place is headquartered in Hopkins, but it is moving into the northwest part of Hennepin County to provide services for people with persistent and severe mental illness. And we heard from Rachel Morey, and we're going to hear from Rachel Morey again today because she's one of our award winners. But Rachel came to talk to us about Avenues for Youth, a teen shelter and food shelf in Brooklyn Park, which we'll hear more about later. And we're continuing to track any of the new developments that take place related to the Bottineau Boulevard Transitway. Since the first of the year, we've been paying closer attention to some new research from the Brookings Institute on the rapid growth of poverty in the suburbs. There are lots of support services in our area. Kurt mentioned, and I will mention again, the valuable Guide to Human Services that is updated and both on our website and in print form. And we're delighted to be able to distribute that throughout this area because it provides so many pathways for people to find services that they need for concerns that they've brought to their families, to their schools, to their churches, to their neighborhoods. There is always a path that we can find to help one another. As always, I want to recognize Anita Perkins and Susan because they go with all of the representatives when we make presentations each year to the city councils and the mayors of each of our member cities. That is a collaborative effort in which we talk back and forth about the services that we bring to one another and the needs that still need to be recognized. And without Susan and Anita, those presentations would not be nearly so rich in information and in exchange. It's really a privilege for us to serve. Those of us who are serving in the Advisory Commission, it's a privilege to serve. We enjoy our meetings, we enjoy each other, and it is our great hope that through the work that we do, we can bring a greater richness and I think improve the lives of the people in the communities in which we live. And I'm looking forward to the award winners today. We're very excited to be able to do this each year, to recognize people in the community who really make a difference. And that is what's coming up next. And thank you for the opportunity to address you every year.
I would just like to echo those remarks, saying that Advisory Commission really brings so much to the table as far as information about their communities and back to their communities. You'll see notices up in your city halls and the libraries and the cities who have the Advisory Commission members go back and forth like that really make a difference. Now I'd like to introduce the staff. If they'd please come up here, Annetta and Krista and Anita. These are the folks who are really put on everything today. Came in here at 10:30, 1:45, and everything's on spot with everything for today for this, and do all the behind the scenes work too. Annetta Willers is our admin person who also is with HMIS, the Homeless Management Information Systems. And Krista Reeder was with us before and is back again. We're delighted to have her back part-time. She's just finishing graduate school as a social worker, and she's doing Homeless Management Information Systems data entry. And she also, her major project has been working on the guide, the update to the guide. And then Anita Perkins, as you all probably know, has been here for 25 years as of July 3rd. So I would like to take this opportunity to present a plaque to her at this event. It would take all day to tell all the things Anita has done and is doing, but she started as a volunteer PRISM with a cheese distribution. And from that, the agency hired her 25 years ago to come and work with part-time doing that. She started part-time, and she's more than full-time. She does so many things, as you see her out in the community doing many different things. But during those 25 years, she started just a little bit of emergency services, which have grown into a large program. And the Hennepin County is changing its funding, so it won't be through our agency anymore. They'll do it directly with some of the agencies in the area. But that grew into hundreds of thousands of dollars that came through our agency and redistributed to residents through PRISM and SEEP and CROSS up in this area, so that people could hopefully stay out of homelessness. And for many, many people and families, that was a real big effort. Northwest started convening the 4 food shelves that were up here. And at that time, Anita started coordinating them, and that grew to include other nonprofit organizations. So there are, I think, probably 40 or 50 on that email list. And that network shares, as all of our networks do, share resources and information and make direct connections with one another. Then the agency developed the Runaway Youth Program. Then Anita was instrumental in over the years as it evolved into Point Northwest for Homeless Youth, which was run by the New Hope YMCA. And she was initially involved with the effort to develop the Youth Transitional Housing in Brooklyn Park, which we'll hear more about with Rachel. She also coordinates the Senior Leadership Committee, and many of you are here from that. It's great to see you. She organized the first Liberian Culture Day in the region and worked with Jackson George. She's been involved in so many ways with the communities and with this agency's program in the member cities that I better stop here because it would take a long time to list those. But there are many of you who are involved with those efforts, and please join me in thanking her for her 25 years of service.
Thank you. You made me cry. It's been a long time since I did the cheese giveaway. Volunteering at Prism and going in there and doing a little, doing the cheese distribution and a little bit of emergency services. So, I mean, it was like about $80,000. And one year we actually had almost $1 million over 2 years for a contract. So it really grew. And I'm so proud that I was able to be a part of that and grow that and make a difference. I think make a difference in all of the community and in the agencies and be able to coordinate all of that and get the money out to the folks that really need it. So that's my part. And the seniors, my seniors, I have been a part of them since Ann Rest's daughter Susan started the senior program, and I was always in the background, and Beth Becker's here today too to support me, that did seniors for years and years and years. So I've always been in the background, but the last, I want to say 5 years, I have done the seniors, and I have so enjoyed that and so enjoyed the senior forum, and I'm going to miss everybody. I'm just going to miss everybody, but everything ends at a time, and this is a perfect time because the program is gone. So thank you all for being a part of my life, because you all share a special part. Every one of you show a special part in my heart. Thank you.
I just wanted to ask quickly, I know we're getting along in time here too, how many of you are members of our networks? Raise your hands. How many of you serve on any of our networks that are in the annual report? Let's see the hands. Okay, quite a few of you. And there are many more who weren't able to make it, but thank you for coming today to do that. We also are part of other networks, including the Joint Community Police Partnership, and Commander Gannon's here from Brooklyn Center, as well as some of the members. Let's see, I know that how many of you are on the, and Monique's here, there, okay, she's there too, and some of the members from our communities who are on that network too are here as well, and we appreciate being part of that effort. I neglected to say that Jeff Cole, who's introduced as being on our executive board, is an elected city council representative from Crystal, so thank you for coming, Jeff. And at this time, I'd like to move to the Invest Northwest Awards. And I'm technically challenged, as so many people realize. And so I think all I have to do is press the button here. Because the first ones I'd like to call up are, I should explain to you that the Invest Northwest started about 20-some years ago. I think it's a video that we're going to play. Okay, and this is our first recipient, Tony Grabinger Nosebush. And Diane Sanis nominated her, and Roxanne is going to accept the award for her because Tony's on assignment right now in California.
Thank you.
How do we want to do this?
Are you going to say a few words? I'll just say a few words here that you kind of got the glimpse of it, but 2 years ago, Roxanne came to me and goes, you should see what Tony is up to. And Tony and I worked together 25 years ago at Medtronic. And the founder of Medtronic is a guy named Earl Bakken. And you still see him today at age 91. He says, give back. Continue to give back to your community. That's what he instilled in his employees. So when I saw Roxanne, she said, get together with Tony. I mean, we hadn't seen each other for 25 years. She started talking about Kid Pack. It's now in the Osseo school districts. It's in 11 of the schools. And it's continuing by 2015. I think we're going to add Brooklyn Center School. We're going to add a few more schools. But she's gotten together companies like Target. She's gotten together the Maple Grove Charitable Women, yes. And of course, it's out of Cross, out of Rogers. But it's just so phenomenal how everyone's come together. And already, I think with this week, we will have packed up 25,000 bags for kids to go home with. So, Tony, I know you're going to watch the video, so thank you very much.
I'd just like to share one small thing also. This year we were in 11 schools, but the schools have now found us, and so 11 more want to partner. So if you as an organization, a business, a church, whatever organization you might have that might want to come to the table, we have schools that are ready and want to be part of this program. So it's an opportunity to give love to these kids. So if you know someone that might want to partner with us, you can reach out to us through Cross. Thank you.
Thank you both. And I should have mentioned that we have a selection committee of 4 people who look and review at all of the applications. Only up to 4 people or organizations or businesses are awarded each year. Alan Hancock and Thomas Nambani are previous recipients of the Invest Northwest Awards. They served on the committee, as did Anita Perkins and Mindy, who's from our advisory commission. And so the 4 of them reviewed all of them and met together and chose 4 people. And our second person, I'd like to call up Sushila Shah, who's receiving the award, and Raj Chaudhry, who's going to be introducing her. And Raj is the one who nominated her.
My name is Raj Chaudhry, and I'm the Executive Director of SEVA, Asian Indian Family Wellness Program. And we serve the communities, South Asian communities of from India, Pakistan, Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Trinidad, and the Caribbeans. So our programs are comprised of, we're a small organization, but we started in 2004, and we may not have a huge budget. However, we have a good strength of community and volunteers that help us a lot. We have small staff, and one of the volunteers is Sushila Shah. She's the backbone of our organization. While working with a partnership with Northwest and with Susan Blood, who brought us along through networking and held it together, Sushila has been a big support in meetings, helping Susan Blood and the network develop programs, writing and bringing needs and issues of communities together, bringing the healthy together, and also another hat she wears is dealing with intervention programs of domestic violence in our communities. One of the example I'm going to give you today, I don't know if I should share Sushila today, is that in January while I was abroad, Sushila was literally taking this one, I would say domestic violence victim, and taking her in the car. It was freezing cold outside, and this woman had no coat or anything. She takes her in her home and makes hot meal for her that's culturally specific, feeds her, and then after that in the evening this woman says, you know what, I feel like going to Chipotle. So okay, let me take you to Chipotle. So there she's driving her there, driving her to take English proficiency courses so she can have admission at the university, so she can be empowered and get a job. We thank you so much, Sheila. And I know you'll be introducing your family, but I want to introduce and have some of your supporters from our community that came. Shashi Gupta, please stand up. She's come to support you. Dr. SPS Chaudhry, Archana Goyal, Arun Goyal, and so these are all the members that have come to support her, and they have seen her work in the past, and Sushila will introduce her family. Thank you so much, Sushila.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I have to put myself out here. Thank you, Raj, for your nomination. I'm humbled to be chosen for this wonderful award. Community service is something that is very important to our family. as we believe it is important to support the communities in which we live. Starting when my grandparents emigrated from India to Uganda, these values have been passed on to each subsequent generation, my parents, my siblings, my kids, and soon to my grandchildren. Today, I'm happy to have my husband, Ramnik Shah, two sons, Ronak and Rajiv, and my daughter-in-law, Rajni Shah, and friends which Raj already introduced to celebrate this honor. Thank you very much.
It's always so inspiring to hear what people are doing unsung in their communities. Every year when we have these awards, it's always, and I know there are some former recipients in the audience too today, and we really appreciate that. Our next one, I'm going to call up Lisa Jacobson, who's nominated Reverend Rachel Morey. Rachel, you want to come up to?
Good afternoon. I want to take a little survey. How many of you have ever met, gotten to know, or worked with Reverend Rachel Morey? Raise your hand. For those of you that didn't raise your hand, I'm sorry to tell you that Rachel's leaving our community. She has been called away to a congregation in Northfield, which isn't really that far, Rachel, so you may find a knock on your door one day. And so I wanted to really nominate Rachel for this award as kind of her goodbye gift from our community. I first met Rachel as I was involved in several collaborative efforts where we would have meetings, and this new woman just kind of started showing up to everything. Because when she was placed here with her church and starting a new church, she didn't want to just operate as a pastor within four walls. She wanted to make a difference in the community that she was in. And let me tell you, she did that. She wanted to find out where the needs were. She talked to everyone. She met with people. She called up people she didn't know and said, I'm here and I want to do something. And she did a small thing to start with, like open up a no hassles youth food shelf, which was an amazing, and it's just an awesome thing for kids who are homeless to be able to get food on a weekly basis. Rachel was behind that, and I believe that wouldn't have happened without her. And then, as if that weren't enough, she really got behind Brooklyn Avenue. She was at every council meeting. She was at every civic group. She was everywhere, telling the community that we needed to have a homeless shelter in the area. And she wasn't going to rest until that happened. And she didn't. And it happened. And while I'm sad to see Rachel leave our community, she will never be gone. And room number 1 at Brooklyn Avenues is named the Rachel Room for a reason. And I know Deb Loon, the Executive Director of Avenues, is here today as well to celebrate Rachel. But I just wanted to make sure that she got the recognition that she deserved as she leaves and goes and does probably the same or greater things down in Northfield. So thank you, Rachel, for all that you've done.
Well, to those of you who have not worked with me before I'm leaving, you're welcome. No, you are welcome. It is a joy and an honor, and I thank Lisa for the kind nomination. This has been an extraordinary time in my life and in my family's life, and I want to say a special thank you to Susan for saying, yeah, bring your kids, that's okay. So if you hear the constant narration back there in the really poorly articulated Waltzing Matilda, that's my 2-year-old. I want to say thank you to everyone in the room who I have worked with, because it's so many of you, and you've been so kind, so patient. My teachers are in this room on how things happen and get done here in the Northwest suburbs. So I'm so grateful for your patience with me as we did this crazy work together, and we're part of this amazing movement. I want to say a special thank you to the partners, SEEP, the extraordinary partner who makes the Youth Food Shelf possible, Cross of Glory that houses it, the YMCA that staffs it, and Mosaic, which is an ongoing community that helps keep the volunteer flow going. Everyone who's volunteered in any capacity with the Host Home program. We have 9 homes trained up here in the Northwest suburbs. If that's something you're interested in, I know that Devlin would love to talk with you. And finally, all of the extraordinary people who assisted with Brooklyn Avenues, the police departments, Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, the youth night outs. Remember that? When we thought it was a good idea to sleep outside at 30 degrees? Remember that? Gosh, we were not right. But anyhow, it got done. That's the amazing thing, that in all of our broken and beautiful efforts, this emerged. And so as a person of faith, I obviously believe bigger hands have been and will continue to be at work here. That is why I'm so comfortable moving on, because I've always believed that the right leaders would emerge at the right time, and certainly they have. So I want to say thank you to all that, and I want to finally say, Anita Perkins, man, can you find a place in this community her fingers haven't been? Can you find a place? Good luck. That woman, she's just extraordinary. And 4 or 5 years ago, you and I were talking about the inception of Northwest, and what was that, 25 years ago? Very close to your beginning. And so the last thing I want to say is that the Northwest Hennepin Human Services Council helped birth Point Northwest, which is now Youth Intervention Services, housed at the M.B. Howe YMCA, early partner up here in the Northwest as this movement got off the ground with faith communities and everybody else. So long before the movement was visible, Northwest Hennepin Human Services Council was at work. So what I'm excited about is, what work are you doing today that 20 years from now we will be celebrating? I can't wait to see. Thanks be to God.
Wow. We have one more amazing award to be given too, and each one of them has such a story and a connection to our communities. At this point, I'd like to call up someone I think probably all of you know, who's nominated, I think every year has nominated people, and this year 2 people nominated her. I'd like to call up Diane Sanis. And Dave Kaiser, who nominated her, and she was nominated also by Linda Henke, who couldn't be here today. So Dave will introduce Diane. Not that she needs any introduction.
Oh, I think she does. My name is Dave Kaiser. I work with Channel 12 and have the great pleasure of taping a lot of stories in the Northwest area, focusing on people that make a difference. And wouldn't you know that this fine lady has been on many, many stories. And the fun part for me, and I don't know how many other people this has happened to, when I go to an event where Diane is there, I never can get away without her pulling flyers out of her shirt and brochures up. She's got 3 or 4 other events to tell me about and to promote when she's at one event, correct?
I just did it this morning.
You did it already. So that does happen. And from Linda as well, she works with the Community Corner program. She could not be here today, but if you can see how small the print is on this form, she filled the form up, as I did as well. And there are so many things that Diane has been involved in the community. And for me, Diane, you certainly have been an inspiration as well, because you need to see people that give them the full selves into the community to really inspire you to give yourself. And Diane, thank you for that. Just some of the programs she's been involved in. Getting books from Half Price Books, and also with the Lions Club, providing in excess of 25,000 books to the community. Brooklyn Historical Society, Adopt a Bus Shelter, Community Garden, Farmers Market, Free Meal Calendar, Shop Local, Patriots of the Brooklyns, Brooklyn Center Business Watch Group, Earth Day, and the list goes on and on. So congratulations, Diane. Thank you for your commitment to the community.
Well, thank you to Dave, and also I stopped this morning and gave Linda Henke a hug. She couldn't be here today, so Thank you. I'm very humbled by your kind words, and I'm proud to receive the Invest Northwest Award. You must have been talking to my mother, my husband, and they're here today, and they've always been there when I get the call to try something new, to commit to change in our community. I thank them for their love and patience. A very big thank you to Susan Blood and for all those over the years that have been part of Northwest Hennepin Human Services Council. Now, I've lived here for 62 years, and I recall when this organization started back in '71. Their 44 years of success in making a difference in the lives of area residents have touched thousands of lives. In 1971, times were really changing in this area, and we were unsure as to what the next few years would bring. It was the '70s. And then we look at today, 2015, and we too would love a crystal ball to see what our community will look like in just 5 years. What are we really going to look like in just 5 short years? That's what it means to be part of a community such as the 9-member cities in Northwest Hennepin Human Service Council. Connecting our whole community, that we work well together and can continue without fear to face our many challenges and opportunities. Surely at the end of this hour, with so many community power people here in one room, we'll have many follow-up lunches, just like we did when we talked about Tony and Kid Pack. And we'll continue to talk about the seeds of opportunity for our community that were planned at lunch today. We need more of these seed planting events with those people that care so deeply about the community we live in. So thank you all for reaching out for the challenges and opportunities, for making changes, for making a difference in the lives of our area residents. It's an honor to receive this award today, and it's always been an honor to be a part of this community. So let's do lunch.
And that concludes our annual event today, and I'd like to give a thank you to Dave Kaiser and Northwest Community Television. On the bottom of your program, the airing dates of this tape, probably isn't a tape anymore, but this recording is coming up in the next few days. Thank you all for coming today, and most of all, thank you all for you do in our communities, because I know you cross community lines, you come to the table in many different places at our networks and other places in the community, and you spread ideas, and you really make a difference in our communities. Thank you all.